If you're into gardening, then Epic Gardening might be one of your favorite YouTube channels. Kevin Espiritu is the man behind this popular channel. His story is both interesting and inspiring. In this video, I'll tell you how Kevin got into gardening, how he became a gardening content creator and later quit his job to go full-time on Epic Gardening, and how he created a multi-million-dollar business empire with it. So, now let's start from the beginning. Kevin Espiritu was born on August 6, 1987 and hails from San Diego, California. He grew up here. He has a younger brother, Brian Espiritu. As a kid, Kevin was into science and skating and was a nerd and academic. The young Kevin loved self-sufficing activities like collecting coins and rocks, capturing bugs, and playing video games, and he has been financially self-sufficient since 18. He used to play online poker with which he paid for his school and post-graduation travel adventures. Later, he also started coaching and investing in poker players. Kevin studied business economics with an emphasis on accounting from 2005 to 2009 from University of California, Santa Barbara. While studying at university, he continued playing online poker, and as he was earning handsomely with it, much more than an accountant would earn, he didn't want to work long hours as an accountant, and he started scorning traditional jobs in his early 20s. As Kevin was uncertain of his career path after graduating, he continued playing poker and felt that he had more freedom and control over his destiny as a poker player than he would have as an accountant. Later, even though Kevin was doing well at poker, he started feeling unfulfilled and didn't want to continue playing poker all his life. So, he quit it. The then upcoming poker legislation also influenced his decision to quit the game, and as he felt the video games to be very similar to poker, he switched to playing video games in 2010. Kevin became obsessed with video games and so decided to take up an activity in the real world for a break and to get off from the computer. At the time, Brian had come home from college for the summer, and Kevin pitched him a few activities like surfing, skating, and gardening. Brian chose gardening, and both of them started gardening in a confined space. Even though Kevin didn't grow up as a gardener, he had traveled to New Zealand and Australia, which sparked in him a love for nature. Brian grew basil in pots, whereas he grew hydroponic cucumbers from the botanical interests Marketmore seeds in the indoor system. These were the first plants that he ever grew. Even though Kevin's cucumbers were not the best, this gardening experience hooked him, and he got fascinated by the natural systems of the world, and this started his gardening journey in early 2011. In 2013, he observed that most of the gardening resources were full of jargon, and as he didn't have much experience with gardening, he struggled to understand them. He also observed that there weren't many good gardening resources available in easily accessible formats. All these inspired Kevin to start his gardening blog. In 2013, he bought the domain for Epic Gardening and set up a simple WordPress blog. At the time, his blog was just a hobby for him. Prior to starting this blog, Kevin had another blog, Exponics, where he focused on hydroponic gardening, aquaponics, and urban farming, but later, he redirected Exponics to Epic Gardening. Initially, Kevin used to drive traffic to his blog by creating a subreddit about hydroponic gardening. He was doing web designing, offering marketing and SEO services for local clients in the San Diego area, but was earning barely enough to pay the bills. In 2010, Kevin started Supreme Strategies, a website investing and consulting company, but it later went defunct. He started Espiritu microgreens and started growing and selling microgreens to San Diego's restaurants, but a year later, he shut this business to focus on traveling. In 2014, Kevin raised money for his personal relationship app, GreatMate, but it couldn't succeed, and this failure nudged him to get humble. So, he decided to work for someone or a company and learn his shortcomings. In January 2015, he joined Scribe Media, previously known as Book in a Box, and worked in marketing and growth and executed over 30 book launches. He was the second employee of this company. Prior to this, in 2011, Kevin worked as a marketing manager at Square Foot Gardening Foundation and learnt gardening from Mel Bartholomew and got inspired by him. In 2012, he worked in marketing and operations for SERPIQ SEO research tool. While working at Scribe, Kevin's role was getting split into 3 different roles, and he didn't like one of the roles. He also felt that he gained enough business knowledge to work on his own. So, in June 2016, he quit his job and went full-time on his Epic Gardening blog. His blog was monetized with affiliate marketing and Google AdSense, and he was earning around $400 per month. Kevin was confident that he could scale up his blog to the point where it could pay the bills. At the time, he also thought of becoming a farmer. His plan was to farm in people's front yards, aggregate the unused lawn space, and turn it into vegetable plots and sell them to the local market or a restaurant. But he paused this idea to fully focus on his blog. In just 3 months, Kevin started earning around $3,000 per month from his blog, and after 6 months, at the end of 2016, he was making $5,000 in revenue, which was enough to pay his bills and support himself. In 2017, Kevin bought a website focusing on the houseplants for $1,000 and migrated its articles to his blog. This greatly helped in the growth of Epic Gardening. In 2017, Kevin switched his blog's advertising networks from Google AdSense to Ezoic and later to AdThrive. These changes quadrupled his blog earnings. He was the sole writer for his blog from 2016 to 2017. He used to write blog posts 12 hours per day and wrote the first 400 in-depth gardening articles. Later, Kevin felt that he had enough blog posts. He decided to market his blog to attract more readers. In 2017, he hired a writer for his blog, and he started focusing on promotion and link building. Kevin later realized that his blog was excessively dependent on the search engine's rankings for its success, and so, to solidify his business, in 2017, he started his gardening podcast. Currently, Epic Gardening has 2 podcasts, the Beat Podcast and In Search of Soil. Kevin has been publishing gardening videos on his Epic Gardening YouTube channel since 2013. Initially, he selected the top 50 blog posts and repurposed them into videos and podcasts and then embedded them into his blog posts. This helped in the growth of his podcast and YouTube channel. At the time, Kevin used to produce videos with slideshows designed with Adobe Photoshop, but after accruing around 100K subscribers, he started producing videos specifically for his YouTube channel. Currently, Kevin has 3.23 million subscribers on the Epic Gardening YouTube channel. He also has 3 other YouTube channels, an eponymous one, Epic Homesteading, and The Beat. Kevin hired Jacques Lyakov as a content creator and researcher. He too is a popular gardening YouTuber. Once, Kevin featured some metal raised beds from an Australian company in his videos. His audience implored him to make them available in the US. So, he emailed the company requesting permission to sell the raised beds in his home country. In 2019, the company agreed to ship the raised beds to the US. Kevin bought a shipping container loaded with around 550 beds for $35,000 and set up a simple Shopify store on a subdomain. He sold off the raised beds on the water, that is, sold them while they were on transit from Australia to the US, and with the money earned, he bought another container, which too got sold out on the water. Thanks to this, in 2019, products made up half of the entire revenue of Epic Gardening, and over the years, Epic Gardening, in addition to being a content business, diversified to selling physical products, having a warehouse and around 80 employees. The products contribute to more than 90% of Kevin's business's revenue, which is in millions. Kevin is the CEO of Epic Gardening. He also manufactures and sells products through his company, American Trade Company, and in late 2021, he raised a capital investment of $17.5 million from the Chernin Group. In 2023, Kevin acquired Botanical Interests, a seed company. You'll be surprised to know that the first plant that he grew was from the seed of this company. His businesses generate 8-figure revenue. His future plan is to make digital courses. Kevin published 3 books, namely, Grow Bag Gardening, Field Guide to Urban Gardening, and Epic Homesteading. Inspired by Kevin Kelly's idea of 1,000 True Fans, he set himself a mission to teach 1,000 people to grow food. As his blog and social media channel started growing, he too updated his mission, which is currently to help 100 million people. Kevin is also inspired by Mark Valencia, a popular Australian gardener who runs a YouTube channel, Self-Sufficient Me. He lives in San Diego, California at Epic Homestead. He is tall at 6 feet 4 inches and also knows Spanish. His hobbies are traveling and rock climbing. So, how are you inspired by Kevin Espiritu's story? Please comment below. If you are into reading, I've also written his story on my website, which I'm linking in this video's description. Finally, if you are interested in more success stories of your favorite YouTubers, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.